Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for tuning into this webcast. My name is Aaron Courtney, and I'm the Managing Partner at Integrated Advisor Solutions. My contact information is listed here, and please drop me a line anytime if I can answer any questions you may have regarding this topic. Also, if you prefer to read or contribute to this discussion, please access our website at www.integratedlp.com. Scroll to the footer of the site and click the link titled Social Media for Registered Investment Advisors found in the Popular Discussions column. I titled this presentation Social Media Use in RIAs, a comprehensive best use marketing strategy, because the recommendations I'm going to lay out today are specific to the registered investment advisory business model. There are plenty of social media marketers promoting best use corporate strategies, but few, if any, of these apply to the investment advisory business model. It's our opinion that it's a mistake to evaluate social media use outside of the RIA business model because of its unique nature. So having said that, I'm going to make the following assumptions before proceeding. First, we're going to assume that your firm possesses significant intellectual capital it wishes to share with its client base. Second, your firm is seeking an additional outlet for its marketing efforts. Third, your firm desires to grow its assets under management or even simply retain assets under management. And fourth, your firm is concerned with the potential regulatory implications of social media use. If these assumptions accurately describe your firm, then I think you will find this presentation today beneficial. Without a doubt, social media use has absolutely exploded. In September of last year, at Facebook's F8 convention, the company declared its user base exceeded 800 million users. As of March of this year, Twitter processes 340 million tweets each day. And analysts estimate Google Plus is adding 625,000 new users to its social media platform every day. According to Pew Research, retirees aged 65 and older now represent the fastest growing age group in social media use. Not surprisingly, this group more than likely also represents the largest demographic in your existing client base. It's no surprise retail has jumped right in. What you're looking at here is a screenshot from Allstate Insurance's Facebook page. The company has spent and continues to spend a fair amount of time and effort maintaining its social media presence. Obviously, someone at the firm pushes content to this Facebook page every day and even replies to visitors' comments. And this may work for branding purposes, we think, as long as the retailer is addressing a large enough swath of social media users in order to justify the resources required to maintain that social presence. The question, though, is what's the potential return on investment for investment advisors? Is there even any return on investment possible? During the past couple of years, we have seen professional services firms apparently flounder in social media, seemingly lacking a coherent strategy. And we question whether these firms have taken the proper course of action relative to establishing and maintaining an online branding presence via their websites. Additionally, we believe visitors within these firms, target audience, may experience significant message distraction caused by social media environments. I'm bringing this point back to your business model. It's our opinion members within your target audience may experience difficulty placing your message properly regarding the practice of professional investment management within its proper context on sites like Facebook, for example, due to mostly the casual nature of most content that's found within that platform. We're not convinced that a Facebook presence, for example, will be an asset that helps establish and maintain a professional corporate appearance. Ultimately, the question becomes, how do we monetize our efforts that are drawn from a finite pool of resources? I don't know of any investment advisory firm that uses an ad-driven revenue model like most social media platforms, so that's not an option. And of course, we wonder if any of these firms that are using social media right now even have any sort of analytics installed to measure conversion rates. Based on the results of a recent survey conducted by Ritex SGI Advisor Benchmarking, it appears that early adapting RAs have begun to ask some of these questions. Out of all marketing methods polled that were used by investment advisors between 2010 and 2011, social media use suffered the greatest rate of change, declining some 32%. And it's our opinion that this decline represents the absence of broad-based social media marketing success by advisors. So, we don't believe investment advisory firms should create and constantly update social media pages. As I mentioned previously, it may prove difficult to accurately control the branding of your firm due to the environment. For certain, you will never control those social media platforms. Those are controlled by Facebook and Google and Twitter and any other firm that has a presence. But what you do have complete control over in the online world is your domain name and the experience that your visitors will enjoy when they visit your website. So the regulatory implications may be potentially onerous, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. The expectations of social media users practically dictate endless status updates. For example, what's the first thing that you think about when you visit, say, a firm's Facebook page that hasn't been updated in a few weeks or even months? Is this company even around anymore? Are they still in business? Those aren't necessarily good questions that you want your target audience members to be asking about your firm. And the practice can actually backfire for advisors. I'm not sure how I would reply to this observation from one of my clients. It's a hypothetical. I don't understand how you can constantly update your Facebook page and reply to all of those status updates and comments if you're supposed to be managing my money. I don't even have that much time to spend on Facebook. I know that I certainly wouldn't want to be approached in that manner from one of my clients. And social media can even backfire for retailers. A couple of months ago, Allstate found itself entangled with the Rush Limbaugh political controversy. And for those of you who may not have followed this development, basically Allstate publicly declared it was the firm's policy not to buy ad time on the Rush Limbaugh show. However, a few Facebook users publicly posted on the firm's Facebook page that they actually heard or had heard Allstate ads in certain markets that were aired during the Limbaugh show. And of course, that outraged about half of the firm's Facebook visitors who left comments saying as much. Allstate then had to publicly retract the firm's original position, posting on their Facebook page that they had contacted their vendor who arranges advertising placements and instructed that firm to no longer purchase airtime in any markets on the Rush Limbaugh show. And of course, as expected, that position angered the other half of Allstate's Facebook fan base. So currently, there are about half of the 600 or so comments that are left on the Facebook thread that talks about this very topic are posted by those individuals publicly stating that they will be promptly dropping their Allstate insurance coverage. Well, we consider this event a complete PR disaster, even though Allstate apparently does not. Most, if not all, of the comments seemingly were completely unmoderated. In fact, they're still up today, and it makes you wonder if Allstate even cares about negative publicity. Is upper management even aware of this occurrence? We can't imagine that any advisory firm would not consider negative publicity of this manner to be potentially devastating, at least in the near term, to their brand. The interesting thing is the chance that this topic could ever be elevated to the level it eventually reached if Allstate had not established a social media presence is extremely remote. But because of the interactive nature of social media, both for good and bad, the issue fed off of its own popularity and, in our opinion, certainly to Allstate's misfortune, at least temporarily. And then there are regulatory issues to consider. In January of this year, the SEC released a document designed to provide regulatory guidance for advisory firms considering the use of social media. And although we do not provide legal counsel, we do provide compliance guidance vis-a-vis our clients' installed technology resources, their operational procedures, and their marketing efforts. And we do have become a client advocate during audits, availing ourselves to respond to field auditors' questions and concerns. So I did read that document and found two paragraphs particularly notable, and I'll read them. RIAs that communicate through social media must retain records of those communications if they contain information that satisfies an investment advisor's record-keeping obligations under the Advisors Act. In the staff's view, the content of the communication is determinative. A firm that intends to communicate or permit its IARs to communicate through social media sites may wish to determine that it can retain all required records related to social media communications and make them available for inspection. So that's not that far unlike email. But the next paragraph we find even more interesting. It reads this as follows. The term testimonial is not defined in Rule 206, but SEC staff consistently interprets that term to include a statement of a client's experience with or endorsement of an investment advisor. Therefore, the staff believes that, depending on the facts and circumstances, The use of social plugins, such as the like button, could be a testimonial under the Advisors Act. Third-party use of the like feature on an investment advisor's social media site could be deemed to be a testimonial if it is an explicit or implicit statement of a client's or clients, plural, experience with an investment advisor or IAR. If, for example, the public is invited to like an IAR's biography posted on a social media site, that election could be viewed as a type of testimonial prohibited by Rule 206. So, what does all of this mean? Well, it's our opinion that the SEC will be expected to be able to review all content hosted on your firm's social media pages, regardless of who posted it. Simple archiving will likely not be sufficient to pass regulatory inspection. Also, every public comment and action will have to pass compliance review to prevent incurring testimonial rule infractions. So, in addition to regulating what employees, your firm's employees, and IARs post on the firm's social media platforms, now your firm will have to have procedural rules established, we think, to verify every comment posted by anybody in the world that can be hosted on your social media pages. And we believe that the SEC will aggressively apply existing securities laws to advisors' social media use, erring on the side of investor protection as the agency attempts to save face in light of recent regulatory fails. So after considering all of the potential drawbacks of social media use, it makes you wonder if any of this is actually even worth it. Well, we believe the answer is absolutely it's worth pursuing a social media presence, just perhaps not in the way that most service-related firms are currently using or trying to use social media. Specifically, we see the greatest potential of existing social media platforms to be their highly targeted content distributive capabilities and their social networking and sharing capabilities. So what does that actually mean? Just imagine being able to perfectly segregate your target audience, including clients and prospects and referral sources and other centers of influence. Once you do that, now you're able to take and push compelling and timely media-based content to these specific groups of individuals that will perfectly hit your target market every single time. This has been the holy grail of broadcast media marketing since its inception, a goal that remains unattainable due to the nature of traditional broadcast media. But Google Plus makes this possible out of the box with circles. The second attraction we find to most social media platforms is their inherent social sharing capabilities. Specifically, platforms like LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook and Google Plus give you JavaScript widgets that you can embed in your website pages that will backlink to your website content when shared by your website visitors. So your visitors can then essentially distribute your content via their social media use and not your firm's use. Your content will reach contacts about which your firm knows absolutely nothing about and would otherwise likely never meet. This should result in highly qualified leads. We believe you will incur zero additional regulatory liability because you will never host your visitors' comments and your employees are not using social media platforms for content distribution purposes. Additionally, there are analytics immediately available to provide metrics surrounding your social media presence. But you need to embrace a Web 2.0 model for this to work, which leads us to the next slide, and that's content marketing. Now, I define content marketing as the creation and distribution of timely and compelling content in an easily consumed package designed to attract and retain advisory clients. If this sounds like a component of inbound marketing, it absolutely is, which you can read more about inbound marketing on our website in a post titled Inbound Marketing for RIAs. Clearly, this discussion plays a significant role in the success of an overall inbound marketing strategy. But perhaps the most crucial component of a successful inbound marketing campaign is actual content. In order for prospects to discover your firm, you must create compelling online content that addresses topics that your target markets find relevant. And I list some practical examples here, but perhaps the best example would be periodic market commentary that addresses some macroeconomic variable that your clients and prospects will find applicable to their investment strategies. So how do we make it easy to consume? Well, we believe advisors should strive to publish this content primarily in video form, in addition to the traditional written word. The question is, why video? Well, video is already quite ubiquitous. In May of last year, YouTube reported 48 hours of video content is being uploaded to the site every minute. Last November, Cisco reported 51% of all internet traffic is video, And the company predicted within 3 years, 90% of all web traffic will be video-based. There are also immediate search engine benefits to be reaped. According to Forrester Research, publishing search engine optimized video content on your website will give your site a 53 times better chance of getting a first page Google search results placement. Then there's the ease of consumption. Everybody I know now walks around carrying a high definition media consumption device in the form of a smartphone or a tablet. Additionally, most internet-connected PCs now have broadband access, and we expect internet-connected televisions to become more mainstream in short order. Having said that, we believe your audience will exhibit some current and future expectations surrounding your media-based content. First, we believe viewers will expect to access your content across a variety of devices. Second, we believe viewers will expect to access your content everywhere at their convenience. And third, we believe viewers will expect your content to be social media user-friendly, which is good because we want them to distribute your content via their social networking. More on that in a minute. And fourth, we believe viewers will expect video quality that rivals network broadcast standards. Although I touched on it earlier, let's talk about why we believe your firm must play in the mobile space. Last year, global mobile data traffic was over 8 times greater than all of the internet traffic in the year 2000. That graphic is to scale, by the way. Also in 2011, mobile video traffic exceeded 50% for the first time ever and is expected to grow at a compounded annual growth rate of 90% through 2016. Total mobile website traffic is doubling year over year, and by the end of this year, the number of mobile connected devices will exceed the number of people on Earth. As a whole, we believe these statistics represent a massive shift that is currently taking place in the behavioral patterns of your target markets. And those firms that position themselves now to leverage this behavioral shift will be the first to reap the benefits associated with those changes. So, where does social media fit into all of this? Well, one option available to your firm right now is to use Google Plus as your primary social media distribution platform. Recall that Google Plus's Circles feature permits you to segregate your audience, facilitating the distribution of target-specific content. Regarding video distribution, the embedded video player found on Google Plus is devoid of all alternative branding, unlike YouTube's video player, which is exactly why we don't recommend using YouTube for the bulk of your media hosting needs. It's difficult to control your viewers' experience with YouTube's ad policies and automated search features injecting themselves. However, the great thing about Google Plus is the fact that the platform permits you to leverage YouTube's leading device-specific rendering architecture without the YouTube branding. And so what I mean by device-specific rendering is the platform's ability to query the viewing device, be it a Wi-Fi connected iPhone or a 4G connected Android tablet or a corporate LAN connected PC or even an internet television, and serve a properly encoded video file to help maximize the viewing experience across all of these devices, all from a single file that you push to the platform. Obviously, your media will be highly search engine optimized, particularly on Google's platform, which currently is responsible for over 65% of all search engine traffic. Additionally, Google Plus offers you the ability to live stream your content for free in the form of Google Plus Hangouts. These are small group video-based interactions that permit real-time access to your firm's intellectual capital. And since Google opened up the platform's Hangouts on Air feature to everyone in the United States, your firm now has essentially been granted a globally reaching broadcast network television station for free. Without a doubt, we view these features as highly scalable means of satisfying additional annual client touches required to move your clients into a more engaged relationship with your firm. There have been some high-profile Hangouts to date. Earlier this year, President Obama and the White House broadcast a Hangout with 9 fortunate participants who were able to communicate in a highly interpersonal method with the Commander-in-Chief. Last month, CNBC broadcast a Hangout between Maria Bartiromo and Richard Branson. Perhaps not that significant, except the network broadcaster streamed the Hangout live via its YouTube channel, bypassing its traditional network television capabilities. Other early adopters exist as well, such as KOMU-TV, the local NBC affiliate in Columbia, Missouri. Sarah Hill, one of the station's news anchors, initially embraced Google Plus Hangouts, and now the station is actually incorporating Google Plus Hangouts into its live television broadcast. And here's what Ms. Hill wrote on her blog regarding her station's recent adoption of this very non-traditional broadcast mechanism. She writes, "Currently, there are no quantitative data to support my anecdotal evidence that the level of engagement with someone face-to-face in a hangout exceeds the level of text-based interaction on another social network. But why else would someone in Brazil, Pakistan, or India regularly tune in to watch KOMU News, a local program in Columbia, Missouri? It's a personal interaction. It has deepened our level of engagement with viewers, increased the time spent with our content, enriched our coverage, and greatly expanded our reach. Viewers talk to an anchor face-to-face in a hangout, they feel connected to that anchor. Personally, I find it remarkable that a news anchor from a local market's broadcaster is talking this way about viewer engagement in terms that should be very familiar with investment advisors. I think she actually gets the potential of this platform. Because for RIAs, it's always been about the client advisory firm relationship. The question is, how do we move our clients from a traditional relationship into a fully engaged relationship, which studies have consistently proven will result in a more profitable relationship for the advisor? So here's an example that illustrates how to add value to your client relationships using the features found on the Google Plus platform. Let's say that a recent geopolitical event potentially alters the investment strategy for a group of your clients. More than likely, these clients will have questions and are probably interested in your perspective. So what's the best way to leverage social media, video distribution, and message consumption convenience in order to alleviate your clients' concerns, add tangible value to your relationships, and provide attractive content for inbound marketing purposes? Well, one possible course of action that accomplishes all of the above would be to produce a brief 3 to 5 minute video in which you provide timely market commentary designed to engage your clients. Post this video on your firm's Google Plus page and make it viewable to the appropriate circles. Then you could distribute a mass email message notifying these clients of your video's availability on Google Plus and of your intention to conduct a one or more hangouts where appropriate individuals in your firm will provide live, updated commentary and reply to any questions. After the hangouts, place that video as well as the recorded hangouts on your website for public consumption, as well as social network sharing by your website visitors for inbound marketing purposes. So having done that, well, what will we have accomplished by pursuing this course of action? We believe your firm will have added an incredible degree of value to your relationships. It's our opinion your clients will obtain the perception of exclusive access to your firm's intellectual capital through the unique interpersonal communication made possible through Google Plus Hangouts. In the eyes of your clients, you will have likely satisfied an additional client touch, and you've done so in a highly scalable manner. But there are also some additional benefits. First, your content will be highly search engine optimized, which should result in a higher search engine results page ranking. Your clients will be able to distribute your content to their friends via their social media use, resulting in highly qualified leads. You can expect greater message penetration due to the ease of consumption. You will differentiate your firm from competitors who are likely using 20th century contact methods. You'll experience greater leverage and scalability compared to traditional interpersonal contact mechanisms. Used in this manner, we believe social media is merely a conduit for the distribution of your intellectual capital, not its destination, and thus it helps to preserve your ability to control your firm's online brand. The second use of social media we find attractive for investment advisors is social networking. So what is social networking? Well, I've already mentioned in some detail, it's the means by which you enable your clients to distribute your content on your behalf to their social media contacts. Now, in order for this to work, however, you must adopt a Web 2.0 model by providing dynamic content, not merely a static informational content. It's our opinion your website must become the central repository for your firm's online hosted intellectual capital. The various social media platforms have given you the opportunity to attach JavaScript widgets to your website pages to facilitate this social sharing. So I figured the best way to illustrate the power of this feature for inbound marketing purposes would be to actually demonstrate how social networking works. So here is some content on our website discussing Web 2.0 development for advisory firms. And acting as a visitor, I decided to share this article with my Facebook friends. So I'm going to click on the recommend button, type a brief note describing the link that's going to appear on my wall, also known as my Facebook page, and click send. And I also decide to send a message to one of my friends that contains a backlink to this page for easy navigation. So here I'm typing, I think you might find this interesting. I'm going to click send, and the message is sent. So now I'll navigate to my Facebook page and show you what has happened. I'll refresh the browser, and there it is. So now anyone who visits my Facebook page will see that I've recommended this article. And if someone clicks on the link, it takes it directly to the content. Okay, so now let's look at my private message area. And there's the note I sent my friend. As a sending party, I can also click on the link and get back to the redirected content. Let's log on as the recipient. So this is my actual Facebook account, and as you can see, the sender's post to his wall has appeared in my status update feed from all my other friends. So that's fantastic. Now I can go to my private messages and click on the message, and there it is. I can click on the link and get to the content that way as well. And there's the website and with the content. Certainly, in order to maximize your results from all of your inbound marketing efforts, you have to drive traffic to your website. One of the best ways to do this for those contacts who have opted in to receive your email notifications is through HTML email campaigns designed to reinforce your firm's branding efforts and notify your contacts of updated website content that may interest them. One key note here is studies have shown video thumbnails in email will actually increase click-through rates by 50%. So let's put all this together. We start by acknowledging that we are going to use social media, except not in the manner that most firms are trying to use it right now. Instead of making social media platforms a destination for our contacts, we are using one, that's Google+, as a segregated media distribution platform with the potential to incorporate live broadcast and hangouts. Doing so will likely help satisfy additional client touches throughout the year in a highly scalable manner, especially when compared to traditional methods. You're no longer limited to being in one place at one time. You can stream your presence and your interactivity throughout the world. We are creating and distributing multi-device and mobile-friendly compelling content that your target audience will find timely and convenient to consume. Recall that only one social media firm page was created in this discussion, and it's easy to disable public commenting to that page to eliminate the need for compliance monitoring. We also embraced the Web 2.0 model that's necessary for inbound marketing purposes, and we committed ourselves to making your firm's website your firm's central repository for its intellectual capital. We are permitting client interaction with that content either through discussions hosted on the website or through Google+ Hangouts. And we are driving traffic to your website, not necessarily your social media page, thus removing the obligation of maintaining multiple points of presence. And we're putting social networking to use by allowing your clients to distribute your content for you, which should result in highly qualified leads. Doing so will minimize your firm's social media footprint, which actually should minimize your regulatory liability. And we're leveraging backlinking to your content via social media JavaScript widgets and video content for greater search engine exposure for inbound marketing purposes. So, who is Integrated Advisor Solutions? Well, I formed this business in 1996 with the sole objective of bringing enterprise-grade technology, operations, and marketing solutions to registered investment advisory firms. Most RIAs are small businesses that can experience similar issues faced by very large multinational corporations. However, just because the scale is smaller doesn't mean the problems don't merit similar solutions. So we try to bring these solutions within budgetary reach of smaller firms. We are referred by major custodians like Schwab and Fidelity and TD Ameritrade to help advisors integrate their back office systems with these custodial systems. Our consulting team averages 20 years of financial services experience, 15 years of SEC regulatory advocacy on behalf of our clients, and 24 years of multi-industry IT consulting experience. We partner with our clients to enable them to focus on enhancing their client relationships and growing their businesses. So specifically, here's how we can help your firm. We provide highly specialized Advent Access consulting for custom reporting and interface development purposes, as well as business process improvement. We also provide on-site IT resource management, meaning network support and virtualization options and regulatory risk assessment. If you want to get rid of your back office without getting rid of your installed software systems, we can provide multiple hosting options. We can even put access on your iPad and other mobile devices for anywhere access to your data using IPsec VPNs and private cloud infrastructures. For example, imagine sitting at a cafe with one of your clients and you're able to run an Access performance report on your tablet or phone. We can make that dream a reality using very secure distributed computing infrastructure. We can also provide backup staffing for your operations team, minimizing personnel disruptions that's caused by unplanned leaves of absences. You can expect a minimal learning curve compared to traditional temps for such operations as trading and billing and account reconciliation and performance reporting. For your marketing efforts, we can create all forms of media from multi-camera, high-definition video, multi-track digital audio, and stills photography, flash media, even live broadcasting and streaming. We have a fully equipped post-production studio and edit bay in-house for edit production value. We offer Web 2.0 development skill sets in which we fully leverage social media and inbound marketing strategies while we create and maintain your firm's online presence and brand. Of course, we also offer traditional layout and design services for all forms of marketing collateral and are able to convert your existing physical assets into digital form for distribution purposes and consistent branding efforts. So with that, I'm going to open this discussion up for a few questions. If you have any questions, just notify and I'll respond. So we have our first question, and I know you mentioned it. Here it is. I know you mentioned it a couple times, but what does inbound marketing actually mean? Okay, that's actually a really good question. I actually have an article on our website that discusses inbound marketing. But in a nutshell, inbound marketing takes traditional outbound marketing and flips it on its head. So instead of forcing your message onto your target audience through traditional advertising like newsletters and cold calls, you create compelling content designed to pull prospects to you. It's our opinion that doing that will place the power of engagement back into the hands of your prospects, which will likely create a greater degree of message engagement that takes place on their terms. But it's still your responsibility to convert those leads, who hopefully will redistribute your content to their contacts, thus leading to even more highly qualified leads. But for a more thorough discussion on this topic that will tie into this one, just look at our website and look for that discussion. And here's another question. If I add someone in a circle, does that mean other members of the circle can see that person? No, you can change your settings on your Google Plus settings and make it private. So you can just edit your circles area and change your profile to reflect who you want to be able to see who's in your circles, and also who has added you or your firm to their circles. So it might be better just to take and recommend making both of those settings private so that nobody can see who's in your firm circles, and then nobody can see when they go to your Google Plus page who has added your firm to their circles. Here's another question. What does Web 2.0 mean? That's a good question. In a nutshell, basically Web 2.0 was a catchphrase that was defined many years ago, in which the individual who coined the phrase attempted to describe the interactive capabilities that website development and internet activity is now capable of doing. I actually have written an article about Web 2.0 development for investment advisors on our website, and I would recommend that you read that article and contribute to that discussion for more information about it. Another question here is, where do we find the analytics? I'm assuming you're talking about the analytics for like Google Plus and Facebook and Twitter. Each platform has proprietary analytics that you can find on their website, and you can usually create an account. It's like a webmaster account, and you are able to track certain activity that's been provided to you by the social media platform, and determine a various number of metrics, and to determine whether you're effectively using social media for your purposes. And so usually you can search on the platform and put in some keywords like analytics, and there will usually be a link that enables you to take and sign up and then log back on and begin tracking over. Of course, it takes a period of time for those analytics to be built up in sufficient volume of detail before it makes any sense. But that's the process that you use to begin the entire tracking mechanism, you might say. And then here's a question that asks about what kind of equipment do you have to or to use in order to start a Hangout? Well, because it's a video interactive based tool, you need some form of like a webcam and preferably an external microphone, and then some earbuds or some kind of way to listen to contributory comments, but yet not have those comments play back through your microphone, creating like a feedback loop, because that'll just cause all kinds of trouble. So it's best to take and you can start a Hangout on a phone and a tablet, but you need to have some way to get the sound from the discussion into your ears, but not into the microphone. And of course, we use a little bit more elaborate tools in order to take and broadcast our clients' Hangouts. We have high definition video cameras, and we have separate audio. We can mic people up and then give them like an earpiece, just like you have in broadcast television, that enables them to hear the commentary in the Hangout. And then of course it does the microphones, the lavaliers that they're wearing do not pick up that noise or that sound, so that prevents the feedback problems. And then we take and mux the audio and the video back together. We use a couple of different cameras, so we can have multi-camera switching, and then we take and splice the audio and piece it back up after we delay it a little bit, because it takes longer for our video switcher to take and switch between the high definition cameras. It creates a little bit of a lag, and so we take and delay the audio, piece it back up with the video, make sure the lip sync is proper, and then stream that out through a computer to the Google Plus Hangout, and let their platform ingest it from there and take it from that point in time. But you can get away with like a Logitech webcam and some sort of a microphone, and then some way of isolating that sound and putting it in your ears directly so it doesn't feedback. And obviously other people who are participants in the Hangouts will eventually experience the same problems, and so you'll have to teach them. And there's a slight learning curve associated with this, but the more you do it, the better you get, and you understand the technology and why things happen. And of course, there are a lot of people who have written how-tos and little pieces that talk about how to have a successful Hangout. But we do things a little bit beyond some of what those articles are mentioning. We're taking and trying to move it into a more commercial production aspect instead of just a regular non-professional aspect. So we do things a little bit differently, but it's still the same principle, and that's how things work. So if you have any questions, just give us a call or contact me specifically, and I can be of more help and provide more personalized guidance, if you will. So with that, I would like to say thanks for everybody for tuning into this. Again, if you have any other questions that I didn't address or I didn't answer them in the detail that you would like to have it answered in, just give me a personalized contact shout out or a phone call, email. Contribute to the discussions on the website. I can answer questions that way. We do get notified when someone posts a comment, and we moderate those comments. So with that said, thanks again for tuning in, and we look forward to working with your firm.